dwumadie no mene Awurade benante dwumadie ye mbotai titiri pa ne se ye behunu nkwaje kwan ne Awurade atumi anante yi mbotai bio nso ne se enipa ene Awurade Yesu Kristo nante kwan be no otumi fa so nante de mfomso nso no mo ye wo kwan mu a ye betumi asua bibi afri mu yama papa ben nso no mo ye ya share Awurade anionyam. And as I've already said in my other broadcasting that these are there as an examples to instruct and to direct our path. The train that drives us to walk with the Lord is always moving, and today we are so privileged to drop by the house of one renowned Presbyterian minister. He's a district minister actually, and he is currently serving with Tech District. He has managed his working space with God. He has a story to tell. He has a story to share. There are moral lessons that we are going to glean out of this conversation. I want you to stay with us. Let us go to him, have a chat, have a conversation, and learn from his story. People have managed their working space with God in the scriptures, but there are living legends in our lives, in our day-to-day activities, who have also worked with God. Let us go and see what God has used him for. God bless you. Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. We read a lot of biblical examples about people who managed their working space with God, how they were commended. Sometimes we also read about their shortfalls. That becomes a moral lesson for us in our day-to-day walk with God. On a walk with God, we also seek to talk to, I call them men of God who carry the unction, people who have managed their working space with God, and that becomes an example for us to emulate. Today, we are so privileged to be in the house of one of the stalwarts of our church, a reverend minister who has served the church in various capacities. He is in the person of Reverend Ernest Odame Asare. Papa Dina Ernest na to be awesome. Papa, right. Papa, Minia Erade Benanti, you may be yeah. You're there at the Asset, a more bravo say, Yame, I found so did you mean did you maybe brave or Presby, Asare mo, Pempe or KNUST, and as a tech, Asare mo said district minister. Papa, Obi pese who Papa Odame Asare. Obi pese, where did you begin? Where did it all start from?
Okay. Thank you so much, my brother, Reverend William Opare Akotuah. Kwesi, I usually call you.
Yeah.
Right. Ernest Odame Asare, I would say, I was born on the 17th day of July, 1960.
Oh, wow.
Say, come July 17th this year, I'll be 64 years.
Wow.
Right. Records indicate that I was born in Kumasi here as a young boy, but I didn't stay here in the early stages of my life. My father, I didn't meet my father.
Okay.
You know, I didn't see him as it were. He was a blacksmith, I learned, but during my infant stages, I was staying with his brother, his junior brother, in a town, a village, I would say a village called Abipotia, near Nkoko, where there is the bypass. There is a village called Abipotia. That is where I stayed in the early stages of my life. He was a teacher, so I was staying with him, I think from 1965 thereabout. And I started primary one there, continue.
Abipotia is quite close to Kweu.
Quite close to Nkoko.
Nkoko, okay.
Yes. Okay. That is where the bypass, Nkoko bypasses. Yes, it's a town. At that place, you, on your branch route on your right, you go to Abrim. There is a town, yes, that is Abipotia. That's where I started my early stages of life. Yeah, from around 1965 through primary and middle school by then. before going to secondary school, I was still at that place until I came to my grandmother who was residing in Kumasi.
Okay.
Yeah, so my father's name was Odame.
Okay.
Yes, but I didn't see him as but he died when I was in class 1.
Okay.
But I was not staying with him. And my mother also comforted Fiada Akwa, whom also I didn't know until when I grew up and I was about to marry in 1992.
Wow.
That I went to where she was at Anyansu in the Akwem. Yeah, Anyansu at Apegusu. If you've traveled that, yes, at Apegusu, you branch the left about 5 kilometers. That's where my mother too was residing. And so it was in 92 that I went to see my mother.
Wow.
When you were
about to marry.
When I was about to marry, I needed to see my mother. You know, all along I had asked my, my father's brother, whom I was staying with, I wanted to see my brother, my mother, and so it was at that point that I was of age that I could travel on my own. So I went to see her. Yes, so, but she also passed on when I was, at that time I was at Bantam. I started ministry, I was there 2001, yes. So in a nutshell, that is me.
So Papa, how was school life? Secondary school in particular?
Yes, I would say that, as I indicated earlier, I was staying with my father's brother, and his uncle was a school carpenter at Donko Krom Agric Secondary School. Yeah, so when I was in primary, middle school from 3 at that time, I wrote the common entrance examination and I passed.
Wow.
I went to the school, Donko Krom Agric Secondary School, because the uncle was there. He wanted me to be a day student. That's why he chose that school. In fact, before you are aware, he has collected the form and filled everything without your knowledge. Because he wanted me to be, a day student. And I passed when I went to the school. Unfortunately, admissions fee, which was to be paid, couldn't be paid on time. So I had to come back and complete middle school from 4. Yes. And I would say that it is God's own doing. Because when I sat for the second time and also completed the middle school living certificate, at that time I passed and was able to get scholarship, CMB scholarship. So probably the first one, I wouldn't have gotten the scholarship. So it helped me in a way. So I understand what God says, that we should give thanks to God in all situations, and everything works together for good for they who love the Lord. So that's my secondary school. And let me say that, so I started as a day student at the Donko Krom Secondary School. But when we were going to the second term, the scholarship came at that time that I had been awarded the CMB scholarship. So second term, I had to go to the boarding house. But still, during vacation, I would stay with my my father's uncle. That's my grandfather, as it were, that my grandfather. So holidays I'll be with him, help him in his farm. He was a carpenter, they're also doing farming. So I'll be helping him. And since you've brought my life in the secondary school, I'll also add, in fact, we've really passed through a very hard time because there wasn't anyone to help us, it were. So during the holidays, I'll be doing some work to enable me get some monies. At the initial stages at Dabipotia, I had a friend called Solo. That's how we call him. Atta was the name. It's Solo. We'll go, and farming activity was going on at that place. So we'll go and weed people's cocoa farm during the vacation to enable me get some money to buy books and so on and so forth. And as time went on, during some of the holidays, I'll come to Kumasi, but I said that my grandmother, who gave birth to my father, was staying with the younger sister whose husband was a school carpenter also at Prempeh College.
Oh, okay.
So initially we stayed at Prempeh College.
Okay.
Until the time that he fell ill, he was affected by stroke. So they had started their building at Edwinasi, so we went to stay there.
Okay.
But during the sixth form period, when I finished Form 5, I came to stay in Kumasi with my grandmother. During the holidays, my one uncle, he was a mason. So I was working with him as an apprentice. I have this mark here. It's very good if asked about my secondary. Do you see this mark? This mark here. Yes. So while serving as an apprentice to him, mason apprentice, I was just making a hole, chiseling, for burglar proof to be fixed. And part of the metal, the chisel, I think it broke and hit the nerve.
Wow.
And that has led to this mark here.
Oh, okay.
So I always use it to tell people that really we've passed through life in a way.
Suffered.
Yes, we suffered. So farm laboring work, as it were, we'll go someone's cocoa farm and we would bargain with the person that I'll give you so much. So we weed, and later on it turned to be masonry apprentice. So that is my secondary school. Nipa bread. Yes,
were there lows and high keys in secondary school? If I ask, school and those kind of things, were there some lessons between picking up?
In fact, secondary school, na obuafo bi any baby sir. Right, obuafo bi ni baby. Mama nka say intina ni kume hu suade because minim say obuafo bi any baby a. Disa na me ka say e di pa kakra ma etimi to books ni ade. Ti me ba holiday time. Time na me nyamba Kumasi no. Apa kakra no medin na me ba kuma na ma to books. Syllabus kra me kai say na me wo exercise book bi a. Subjects we were doing as many as 18 to 19 subjects in Form 3.
Okay.
So at Form 4, then you choose.
Okay.
Right. So I had an exercise book in which I had even copied the syllabus of the various subjects. Wow. Because you cannot have the books into syllabus. Me kai say on 25th December, that will be 1980, 25th December, Christmas 1981, and I'm sure O level. And the Christmas preceding the O level, no, me kai me ye adwuma kakra ofie because ye makwa na metime wo fa no I mean anane ho. Aha, do me scholarship benzo be papa no na fe maka no ho. 25th December me ye fiade kakra na me ko share school bi na ben ye ho. Asikasu LA primary mekai board bi me share ho na me sua the 25th I di bronya no.
Oh, okay.
Me ye fiade na se me ko share school mu sua de because as I said me yere me ho na me twa. Aha. Now there was a great challenge. One name Donko Krom Sabre no. Se utwa ferry no. Ados no abedru a chairman from. Eto me bia wo cross bedru a chairman from. Ansa na bakwa kodru Donko Krom no. Na so many hours. We utwa be say 5:30 p.m. To bia bedu kra na 10 p.m. atwam. Sabre na kwan nye. Tina kwa sitna no ye very very difficult. Yeah, near third batch. Don't go Chroma Grade Secondary School. Very third batch. Now, near na challenge and I can count of teachers are na graduates. We headmaster, we assistant headmaster. Names are one agri science master bako, and one other. All of them were post seconds.
Oh, okay.
Any A level near dinner nature idea. Aha. It's na ama Suku Muankasa no na enema eden. And I'm about sixth form. So if I me Prempeh College was my first choice for sixth form. At that time, menya and I'm tia mass secondary school. The ho and I'm call your hon so additional na isan se ni obuafo bia nti eto ni bi kura na students ni bi na senior Odame o de community no bo adwen na de hwa anam so sa pepepe because to de bi am se me that 30 minutes munya no me
okay
na makoshe classroom block asua de a mabeda kakra bi nti ye yire ho ase ebesua na yatimi atwa unfortunately sa ye no sa mre mass no ye afternoon classes bintina nipa bebre ya na mass register on but they were not regular students the make say one they be akọ schools akese a wantwa no abaye remedial any ya efi nkurase eba ye nyina in fact say ye no make say ya yetimi qualify ye ko university no na by the grace of God na yetimi ko university straight ebinum e so on second world war but kasa ni nyamu don ko krom ho na me say a very difficult area no first batch second batch obi e no a onya grade 1
okay
intina misuro na tam aye ko second year na ebinum ayi won ma e de won ko schools ahodo e wo kwau St. Peter's name price so said be a betimi pass year because it was a very difficult area in so we den sabe na kanea electricity kura ni don go krom ti lantern na edition ade na lantern kasa na me ni lantern on my own
wow
and he say lights off ni ade no na juniors ni no akwaji on lantern now dey see we suan ade kakra first time in the history of Don Kokroma Great Secondary School any nipa mienu a yenya grade 1 me mate ba ko ono kwa Palm Secondary School they say oye professor kra na say oye professor o kira de Legon Law School
okay
a friend no Kwame Jan na o di Anthony Jan Kwame Jan oye professor ewo no nya grade 1 kwa Palm me so nya grade 1 eba Tia Media Secondary School na me fi oba tech no so fi o ko Legon
okay
the school mo na abrabon ye den but ye bo modern ase yeni obuafo bi e be fam ye timi asua de na ye twa eti say o ka secondary school ho asem a kakra metimi aka no
but before asem we before me rebe fi no me hu say oye obi a in terms of record keeping in terms of dates and they own ni agro now we chairperson no to make my chairperson 3 years 25 days I come then what was it because of be a subject area be now you're very good now more particular about dates and timings and record keeping
be a make say many ama be part and parcel of me if I say the subjects now me can the subjects bebre na duru ba bia no atobi agu in fact a free memory phrase have been very particular say bibia be ye no me pese me ye na me ye ni ye nti mani di niamachi nti na 1 Corinthians 14:40 has been my mantra. Let all things be done decently and in order. Yes, right. And he just say if you remember for us me di bia me ye no me di right. Na my main call be kakra. So me nim primary school. In fact, I have always been smallish in size.
okay
The leadership maybe na ye mo pani na me di nachi. Into primary school, middle school, I was assistant school prefect.
okay
Middle school assistant school prefect. Me call Don Kokrom Secondary School so assistant school prefect.
okay
Just say maybe a teacher for so usa into empo pani na we di akire. Tia mass nkwa na me dwane leadership position.
okay was there
Fact,
a special reason
yes. When say a mass obi oni ma mass records no binu susu say sabio ye nuanom nkramofo do so nti obi asusu say ho no ya na wani nya DP a untimi ti na me mpese ma disua no leadership ne sabie nipa bia ne eden wa so eden wo ho no enko ha madwene you can find house too near na already we a prefect a wo na wo nominate obi na teachers are endorse nti near na oye house 2 prefect nanka o nominate na because sugu ne so me srewa bi nya kwansua de nti me pa o chew yes nti e ma mi dwane leadership position e wo ho aha me ba university fa na me KNUST ha some record K and no meka ho na for University of Science and Technology Unity Hall Unity Hall Christian Fellowship. I was evangelism secretary and hall, and so I was first floor president of block A. Samre nti just a leadership, I'm record keeping, mean kind of say from the beginning of misuku seminar leadership position to amamre bia because a record keeping nti na atwa so abeti sabre
papa me ko TI Amas
yeah
and who say that's all more producer asofo
yes
because papa Reverend Doctor, very Reverend Doctor Frimpong.
Yes.
I'm told so.
Yeah, okay. Papa Prempenso.
Oh.
Papa Prempenso enso kwafas. Yes. Papa Prempenso kwafas.
We make us say bia akọ Islamic school.
Yeah.
Also na nyame na mo so a producer.
Right.
So mpanyimfo abeye moderator.
Right. Chairpersons. Right.
Yeah. So papa all this while na Asare ko.
Right.
Thank
you very much. In fact, me papa na me papa nua me tran nchen wa bi poti a. It's no a teacher ni. It's no a teacher catechist wa bi poti a ho. Nti me na me bodon abi poti a presby edon anopa kobo class just say you were compelled to go and do it. Do ntimi kobo don na ontena fie. If you collaborate mo a. Ti sabre no just na ye kwa sori ni bi na just say me nka say ye ko ye kwa die kwa sori ni free mo fra bremu an na mu a obodon me papa ne ye katkisa akuchi say right nti me kan say asori komu no ifrin kola bremu but encounter with the Lord and kasa de ma me kan say 1983 fatama ne ye tri adwunase no na Christian sister bi there is this man wenya ne baby called JK Boache JK Boache na ne baby a friend ama Boache wa tine namfo no ne ade na sambre na osofo amoako evangelist amoako santase sambre those times Saturday just say na ho bufa so no nti me ne ama eko no ta call na medwan ne call eho je ho ankasa na me nka ne say me ma me nsa so agi Awurade die if it right
that turning point is very, very important.
Right.
The program is a walk with the Lord.
Right.
And on a walk with the Lord, kwanya nipa ni nyame anante, but don't do many nyame nante keke.
Right.
There must always be a turning point here with the fears. But before I know, TI Amas.
Yeah.
Edidi mo ne keka ho. Ebo Asare don. Papa. Ene program we it is recorded, it will be on TV, it will be on the internet.
Right.
After 10, 20 years, somebody will still see this program on the internet.
Right.
I saw it done then what then na done eka.
Right.
And then in our contemporary world today, where is the place of Asare don?
Thank you very much. Once the kronki tuemu no, sabre no, don na ne de kire bra Asore ebredu asese ye kwa Asore.
Okay.
Nti ne ebo edon edikan, edon etusumienu, na ne etusumiensa no chese Asore time aso.
Okay.
Enye krokasi enti, wo bo obi a ti edon edikan abo. Aha. Be se a krono tre no Asore don ankasa no me kan say lose ne significance.
Okay.
Because baby obeti oba Asore no enya de e bebo obeti. Right. They be kai say the ba mampon say ne ebo Asore don. Ne edi nyane nkrofo na oba morning devotion ne ade beta chiri hu say baby enipa tetere kra oba Asore don na nti Asore don ye me kan say ne na bo enipa me hu no bra Asore e time aduru.
Okay.
Be say no baby obeti no bokra enya de anti na watch nso adults say I mean kind of say obi at be very tired with me ba God and the days as I'm na the person on no watch and no do ni feel the very time right
papa Asore don be there sabi ye do obi akogina ho a otumi mo na sa because don no ba it's any obo phantom from you must make meaning out of it.
Okay,
the don na mo bo na den asem na mo kan odon no
king King, 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 king 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 na no na na binom kire mu se ba srefo momra momra ba srefo momra aha inti sana na asori don no enchiremu ana ebinom edema no inti ni edika no first bell no ubo king 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 wi na waja space kakra few seconds no abo king baako second bell nenso no abo king minu e de atwato after a short interval na fe third one mra e be sha sorase no third bell no wunya ebowie na abo biensa atwato king no be who say third bell no abo just ye sha sore asene no aha oh in fact yeah don no there na I had to say train that there na ye twa peace unlike missionary for the on the buy and there ubom to say we twa homa na nya no bia
one man so ho a onim say sa akoto timi bo wa o basre for if baby if you achi nkrani bega so wo je shon if you achi ni abepi ha bra ye bo asore don e de fra safomba no bi ka se don ye bo ken chesa woni hwan oni Jumadie no meni awrade benante Jumadie ya motai titru pa ne se ye behunu nkwaje akwan ne awrade atumi anante yi motai bio nso ne se enipa ene awrade Yesu Kristo nante kwan be no otumi fa so nante de mfom so nso no mo ye wo kwan mu a ye betumi asua bibi afri mu yama papa ben so no mo ye ya share awrade anuonyam. And as I've already said in my other broadcasting that these are there as an examples to instruct and to direct our path. Friends, you are welcome back to A Walk with the Lord. We are so privileged to have a conversation with the Reverend Ernest Odame Asare. He is currently the district minister for Tech, Ewo Kumasi Asante Presbytery. Ansana ye try hono na papa ka bro ba sorry don and ne keka ho ma odu point bia oba sorry don he was forced to go to church, but na nyamesom no nshada the point of encounter with Christ and then said am I. If I say a sign could be near bisa papa say papa at what point? And now cause our sister fear be a cause of am sorry. And then what happened there?
Yeah. Tia ho yakwa your first timers one class any ade in our one so edikan ba ho no nti na ye chiche mate point nti ya ye edikan ba no ho ena won di nyame asem ma ye bisa ye, and this makes it very crucial. Sorry mo ma ye take things for granted say enipa ba nyina periodically esi etimi altar call so they are ba sorry no ya kwa sorry na so there had never been an opportunity say ye beka say bia okwan a ye fa so a ye gi Yesu Kristo edini. I would say that was the time, a point ti ye kai na che say really mean two sa na money bi ti ema ti mi pagya mensa e free ho na ye kwa sorry but e ho no esesa niema ma ye sha ase say ye fa Kristo sum ni mu yie. At that point na me kokwa da so sorry nti emua YPG ye ne na emu nti saa na mutu etu ye no ma ye de ho hye nti ne yeta akọ memne da bi ekọ adisua ntoato aso ma yetimi ye grounded in the faith right nti ma ye dwumade a na ye di asori mu afi YPG na ye boa emu dwumade at a point ye baba ye prayer group mu nso executives ni ade abedu district level ti mu a na ye to aso e ko university a ho nso isa se na jana so nti ye to aso a Unity Hall Christian Fellowship ni ade Presby Students Union ayi so a.
Papa, would you say the conversion that you and made Christianity more meaningful to you or the song was sorry Presbyana?
Me can say a song ni eguso som dada. Right, eguso som ye dwumadie. But that encounter na me can say the place that I had opportunity to, as it were, raise up my hand, no, ho.
Okay.
Aha, ntina ebue mani mami hu sa anamutuo ye guso ye adwuma ne dada. Nanso ekwan no a ye fa so na be ma we ye na adwuma no. Aha, se na se ye fa so ne age ne di. Meka se ho no na ye hya ase. But na adwuma no ne ye guso a ema ye nkuranhye mo ma ye to aso ye ne ye guso ye na dada. Aha, right.
Me sua bibi wa ha say.
Yeah.
As a Presbyterian,
Right.
Wakupiem Paibobiase, and you felt that this is my turning point, even though I was still working in my church.
Right.
But this is a turning point where I really had an encounter with Christ. However, I will still come back to my church and serve.
Right.
Instead of me first my encounter I had the enemy but whatever you gained there, what the turning point, you decided to still come back to your church and serve. Is that the lesson we can
Exactly so. Exactly so. Because from primary school, as I said, me board down one, cause say my friend one, auntie, you're quite sorry dada. Nti me who ni nti say wakunya experience bia what the beko ubi asori. But at that time, no mama can say na eno na enya asori anyway. But na asori kura na nkenya ade ameko because Presbyterian no ya dia ya famu free exactly nkora bremwa be papa nua o ye catechism afare na ase enti na me hu de e betimi atwe me free mu assuming say na resurrection power na ya asori sa time no kura nkenya de ameko because na ye call say fellowship. Aha akosua bibi nti na sa na tie
schools now you have the opportunity to go to programs elsewhere to encounter power, to encounter the gift of the Spirit of God. It doesn't mean say nyame a share wo baby ne kire say jai wo de no na koho nyankopon kwan ofa so siesie obi a enti mo man hia bibi mfi so panyin Ernest Odame Asare nkomo yi mu say baby a nyame do nsa be kan obi a no o siesie o na nso de akobo adwuma bi momma asom no na yesom no ne asore no ewo mu no ensom bo mayen na yento aso enye nyame adu papa yeda ase but going forward no at what point and I will consider say baby adu there as I say me could this suffer. Did you have any encouragement from other people?
Right. Make us say encouragement there enye obi ho ne free buy.
Okay.
Yes, sum adwuma fa kwada so asore dan ho sum anipa besom. Samra ne yete dwunase na na mete bo mu kwan bi o dwunase besi anopa bia kosi ada nopa bia me free dwunase ko prapra sorry dan ho me ni nipa kakra bi binum nyame afro na ye ko hihye asori dan ho na me san ba dwunase abedware asan ba sorry a me nye late.
Wow.
Nti osom no ne ye guso som ho ha anwumre sorry ni free dwunase ebe nwumre sorry brada eni fiada nwumre sorry nyina na meba so nti na adidi mi mu a osomo no adidi mi mu kwada so sabre kwada so asori na me nko amitimi do ho nyina ba bi asori na aka sie nsi no sabre na ho nyina yemfuye ti ase ho de na asori dan because mo university nyina kra papa ousu sapon mre so na na so fodi kan oba ho ye ma sabre Rollins time a luta ni apam ya betra fie na bra ya betra fie no me nko a me sese kan mi no ma fa di na sofo nko na nim ne oda sori na ho e mu a periodical na YPG mti na osumo adwuma na ewura ni mu a di samre mu a ye wie 64 my Akotuah university eno so ye to aso a nti mi wie university mi wie national service because I'm national service o kwetafo community improvement unit CIU and a primary health care unit. What na me ntimi wie na me be chra the then Wesley Day Secondary School as you say Kumasi Wesley Girls Senior High.
Oh, okay.
Nti me be chra ho from national service. Me chra 4 years. Ti na osumo adwuma na eguso ye na sori ni mu a nti me ye sori adwuma na me chra ma de kakra. Nti na me call it was a Methodist school but I was made the school chaplain.
Oh, okay.
School chaplain. Na just a mechire ma de school chaplain adwuma so ka ho. Until a point onya Methodist sofu bia na oye nkan say ɛno koraa sɛ wamagye adwuma no kyɛ mene ne ɛbom ɛyɛ nti na mehu sɛ asɔfo dwuma no nyame adwuma no ayade na ewura me mu because class koraa before a yɛbɛkyerɛ adeɛ no you know utimi sɛ ne mu kakra bɔ mpa kakra na makyerɛ ma de a na mawie a nti in the course of that na menya ofrɛ no sɛ no bɛsɛ me kodi sɔfo nti nye obi na share that ka sɛ kodi sɔfo na odi sɔfo a I just had the inner feeling and I said the intuition says
so after getting the inner feeling or that intuition then now and I'm on now too did you speak to somebody
right fine
then I'm on
thank you very much Samre no na kwada so ne ye bantama dis utase bantama dis na so nti mi ko hu nti Samre kwa nyama na sɔfo nyama ho nti na ye catechist ni mpanfo nti mi ko hu won say na be kai the late Mr. Fintino so obi pe ade akokoto kwa enye na bro nti o endorse me form ene ye de ba eye bantama minim se sofu ke nua mana ne ho sa time me nye too sure but unfortunately me form na me se kodru presbytery no samre na regional manager of schools no na Nesai Clark the late RS Ado na me se form na according to sources them say contem inti mra ye kɔtworo exams no ewo Wesley College hɔ ne ye tworo sa exams osofo Kofi Amponsa na oye principal Samre no na meka no so supervisor ho ba oni me se me kyerɛ de Wesley Day Samre no ɔhwɛ bi di nim na so ma feel me form any ade nyina na oye so de o ma me ntworo exams na bia later on be man penfo atresi di me ko first exams isa say me form anko whether I don't know how it happened. Nti amasa afenu manya kwan. Atu say kire won hu form na say won hu. The pressure cra sa no pano a ebi ahase aye twro wo ye hu form ne ade ma ne kwan mo nbe no it could also be something right. Nti the following year na me sign twro ye. Mabamu amu. Because na me face say ade a nyame de ato akoma so nti me sign twro the second time. And then nyame adum minya akwanya na e ma me call Trinity College 1993 and nyame adum e call ya itimi ewie
now hall ben
Galivo Hall and even I happen to be Galivo Hall president Galivo na
grant
Galivo
for there ba kokura mo ye 10 over kon kam
me Galivo Hall president
okay. The choir papa faso ekodi sofo Trinity. How many years or?
In fact, Samre na it's not say na me graduate before going to me a 2-year program. Samre na others near 3. Okay. But now we graduate already.
You were giving some
2 years exactly. We 2 years. To be 2 years.
Dwumadie no mene Awurade benante dwumadie ya motai titiri pa ne se ye behunu nkwaje kwan ne Awurade atumi anante yi motai bio nso ne se enipa ne Awurade Yesu Kristo nante kwan be no otumi fa so nante de mfomso nso no mo ye wo kwan mu a ye betumi asua bibi afri mu nyama papa ben nso no mo ye ya share Awurade anuonyam. And as I've already said in my other broadcasting that these are there as an examples to instruct and to direct our path.